YouTube was good. It's your boy Jody Joe. Welcome to Yin and Yang number 15, baby. We are here. Andy's arrived, and we're about to get this shit popping. Shout out to the homie Andy. Let me go ahead and pull up on him. There he is. And we're about to get this shit popping. Andy, you there?
Yes.
There he is. Game of Thrones versus Breaking Bad.
I mean, that's hard.
Is it? It is, huh?
Yeah, because it's Breaking Bad. Game of Thrones ended like a fucking piece of dog shit. I'm trying to figure out how you could justify
But Game of Thrones was a better series before it ended.
Was it?
Yeah, Game of Thrones way better than Breaking Bad before season 8.
Dude, that ending made it. I just don't think it's a fair fight. That ending is for either of us, whoever has to defend it.
It depends on. No, you could argue that. You had 7 good seasons.
All right, so I don't want to give out my tactics if I'm fighting or not. But what are we have to flip for that one because I don't want to. I don't want to.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to, it's not fair. Someone's gonna have to take the bean.
Which one's not fair? Which one's not fair? Game of Thrones? I'll take it.
Yeah. All right.
I'll take Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is the better show, better than Breaking Bad. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not about what you think personally. You are supposed to vote based on the argument. And I'm about to have to do some stuff to try to win this debate. Andy, I guess you went first last time, right? So I think I'll go first this time. I need 10 minutes on the clock. I'm going to start this thing out. Yes, I understand that Breaking Bad is a good show. Yes, I understand that Game of Thrones season 8 was a pretty bad season. It does not wipe away the epicness that Game of Thrones was. You still got almost 9 years of fire television. Not just fire television, because I'm disrespecting the show right now. Season 1 through 7 of Game of Thrones is the best television that we have had since the invention of television. And I don't know how you guys are. Are you guys willing to castrate an entire series for just one season that only lasted 6 episodes? Come on. It's not right. The writing was still there. The acting was still there. Tyrion Lannister, the Dornish houses, the Starks, all of those epic moments. The Mountain versus the freaking Dorne, Prince of Dorne versus the freaking Mountain. Brienne versus the Hound. Ned and Jaime fighting it off in season 1. Freaking King Robert Baratheon, Stannis arc, Brienne, Arya. All of the amazing memories that we have from Game of Thrones, the best writing that we have ever witnessed, the best character development we've ever witnessed, probably the best score and theme for a show we have ever had, next to The Simpsons. I'm telling you, Game of Thrones season 1 through and season 4 especially, which is my favorite season of all time, it's just too good. It's just too good. It's not even fair to compare it to any other show, even including Breaking Bad. I believe once season 4 came out, Breaking Bad was in the dust by then. Then you had 5 and 6, The Winds of Winter, Battle of the Bastards. Too much good stuff. Shout out to AMPM. Yes, season 8 was bad, but Breaking Bad had issues towards the end of its series as well that a lot of people forgot. The script got stolen. They had to rewrite the end. The way Hank went out, the way it ended was really muddled, and that wasn't the original version either. But I'll let Andy go ahead and give his rebuttal.
The last season was bad. That's what how you're quantifying this, dude. The last season was so bad. It really ruined everything because it made me not want to go back and rewatch anything because I'm like, that's where it's going. That's what these characters are. That's who they are. Bran, the builder, whatever the F they called him, that was a failure on a monstrous level. It completely pissed everyone out the window. Breaking Bad is a perfect show from the end because this is why it's unfair, because it's following one character. It's following one character's story, Walter White, and his family and the people around him, but his relationship with Jesse. It is an amazing portrait of watching a man who is on his deathbed, having to provide for his family, get an ounce of power and respect that he never had, and then falling prey to that power and eating and rising and becoming the monster that he never thought he could. It's an amazing character breakdown and a story that you watch this man's breakdown and how it destroys the family, and it just ends perfectly. and there's everything has a point. Everything lines up. It is if I'm telling a new person, should I watch Game of Thrones or should I watch Breaking Bad? I'm going to immediately say Breaking Bad because I know it's worth it. Otherwise, I'd be like, yeah, watch Game of Thrones, but don't watch the ending because it'll ruin it. So then you're like ending it. You have to watch a whole show wondering what happens, but then you're like, well, I guess I can't watch. But then you will, and then you'll be disappointed in it. It's not just bad. It ruins everything. They rushed it. They didn't know where they were going. And it made the characters unlikable. And I just didn't care about them anymore. I don't even think about that show. I used to think about it because you're right, it's an epic scale. It was huge budgets and dragons and crazy stuff and killing off characters you didn't see coming. It all seemed fantastic. But then you realize the Emperor had no clothes. There was no point to it all. Breaking Bad, however, same twists and turns, same crazy deaths, same amazing, real, like using science to be like, what? Gus Fring? Oh my God, dude. Gus Fring was an amazing villain. It's just like there's so much more to Breaking Bad that actually, because it pays off easily. And there's no
I think when you talk about the death of Hank at the end, it was terrible.
Spoiler alert for everybody.
Spoiler alert. When Hank died at the end, it was terrible. It didn't even show him get shot.
Oh, it was crushing, Jody.
It did, not for me. Not for me. It didn't show him get shot. It ended with them shooting at the truck and then began with him dead and Gomez dead. I hated that. I wanted to see them actually have the fight, show Hank take a couple people out. That could have been done better. And I don't think people, and that show, Breaking Bad, is excellent. Yes. We hated every character by the end. There's no redemption character in Breaking Bad, period, except Gustavo was the best character and they killed him off. We had no one to root for. We hated Jesse. We hated Walt. I hated Skyler. I hated the cripple. I even hated the baby. There's no one I liked. I hated Hank. I sure hated Marie. There's no one salvageable in Breaking Bad in the last 2 to 3 seasons.
Oh, I love Skyler and I love Walter and Skyler in that moment.
Ugh.
And then
Game of Thrones, they still had characters that you loved.
And they have that final scene in the kitchen, and Walter finally admits that
overrated.
He did it for him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, it's so real. It's so it's realistic. It's the show. And then you got Sal, and you got Better Call. It launched a whole nother sub-series. Better Call Saul is fantastic, and the Jesse Pinkman follow-up movie. What was it called? I forget, but on Netflix.
El Camino.
El Camino was really strong. It's a more valuable and it works. And I was rooting for Jesse. That's last season. We're watching him. Spoiler alert.
Jesse was doing the most craziest, insane shit.
Jesse was like being held by Nazis and just tortured. And then at that
that was a terrible story. I hated that.
That's the realities of it, dude.
The reality of it. They wasted Jesse the last 2 seasons.
Ozark is copying its same themes, but it's great because you're like, it's just tense. You're watching like, oh, why am I watching these people do these bad things? That's what it's about. Game of Thrones, you're just watching Cersei always get away. Cersei's final.
Better villain is Cersei. Better hero is Game of Thrones. Ned is John.
Oh, we watch.
You
Cersei.
can't compare it.
We're watching seasons all the way up, and Cersei gets crumbled by rocks.
All right, but still, name a better villain in the show. Cersei's better. Name a better protagonist. It's John. Excuse me. John Aegon.
And he gets stabbed by John, and then the dragon burns the throne down, dude.
You're only talking about the last season. I'm talking about the entire show.
That's the ending.
No, this is the show. Overall show, not just one season, Andy. It's all 8 seasons.
That ending ruined every little bit of leading up to
season 1 of Breaking Bad. Season 1 of Breaking Bad it was slow burn. A lot of people didn't watch it because it was boring. Season 2 started to kick up. 3 was great. 4 was great. 5 was deleted. Was put into 2 parts because it was messy at the end. I do not like the way Breaking Bad. And him's in the lab. He collapses. He has a gun in a car that so manages to kill everybody in there. What if he told him to park it first? What if he never got the keys to activate the gun? So much stipulation. That was not smart. That's not Walter White genius. They had to make that script in an emergency situation, and that's the best they came up with. I didn't like it.
You are nitpicking an ending that is 100 times better, and then you're telling me
it is better.
Game of Thrones.
It is better.
Car scene, the semantics of that car scene do not outweigh destroying plot lines, character arcs, and foreshadowing, which season 8 did.
Okay, can you talk about the great things of Game of Thrones? Are you ignoring all of it? Because that's not the debate. Game of Thrones was not Game of Thrones the best show on the planet.
I didn't say it was a bad show. I'm saying if you're comparing these two shows.
I am comparing them. Was it not the best show on the planet?
Which show are you going to recommend to watch someone to watch?
I'm going to recommend them to watch Game of Thrones and then don't watch season 8.
Yeah, that's not. I wouldn't do that. And then they're like, well, what about Breaking Bad? Is that better? Does that one at least end well?
If they don't watch season 8, it's not better. Game of Thrones is the better show if you leave out season 8. It's just better. That's the best thing ever.
I wouldn't. If I
wish I never seen season 8.
If I was told watch a show but then don't watch the final season, I'm not watching that show, dude. I'm going to watch 7 seasons of the show.
Yeah.
I can't see where it ends.
See, a lot of people think that way. It's people that really don't appreciate the ride. They hate the ending. They don't appreciate the ride.
You like Lost?
No.
Yeah, that's the problem. I loved the first few seasons of Lost, and then it lost itself.
You asked me if I like Lost. I said no, but there was a couple seasons of Lost that I did like.
Yeah, that's my point, though. That's the problem. You asked me if I liked any season break. I loved every season.
But listen to me. Lost had like 2 or 3 seasons that were just bad. Game of Thrones was epic in nature. No one in history saw this. Season 8, the final 6 episodes sucked. I got it. That's not enough to condemn the show.
Game of Thrones had weak points throughout. There were highs and there were lows. Game of Thrones absolutely had.
Even the boring episodes are glorious now.
The highs were hot. No, there were a whole bunch of stretches where you're like, who cares?
There's always meat.
Red Wedding, a lot of the stuff. There were points that went nowhere. Breaking Bad is a perfect beginning end if you're suggesting someone to watch.
Perfect? No.
Yes, because it starts and it ends where it should. There's payoff. If you actually watch it.
A lot of people do not like watching drug crime type of shows anyway. This is fantasy. Game of Thrones tickles the fantasy itch.
They shouldn't watch Thrones with incest then, Jody.
Time. Final minute. You got it, Andy. Your clock is starting. I ain't wasting no time with you, sneaky.
Game of Thrones has highs. There are amazing highs of Game of Thrones, but there are massive lows throughout the whole show. There's certain characters. There were certain plot lines. You're like, oh, can we fast forward the next one? There's whole episodes. You're like, what happened to Dany? What happened to Jon Snow? It just not pay off what its characters are doing. You're going on a journey with its characters, and there were some entertaining parts, hands down. But then as the show go, I would argue even season 7 is where it started to falter. And then you realize this was going nowhere. They wanted to know because George R. Martin didn't even finish the book because he doesn't know where he's going. And yeah, whatever. And then the showrunners like, God damn this, we got to get the show done. I want to move on and make Star Wars, whatever they thought they were going to do. And they knew it. Everyone knew that show was going nowhere. They had no focus. So they rushed it out and like, we'll just throw a bunch of money at it. It was such a bummer. I can't think of any show where it's like I was watching those seasons like, all right, it's going to pay for maybe I kept rooting for it, Jody, and it just destroyed us. It was like, nope, we don't give a shit about you. This show sucks. That alone is the reason why Breaking Bad's better because Breaking Bad, sure, maybe the gun wouldn't have worked. It didn't matter. The rest of that season.
Time. Let me go at him. Look, Andy's going to be confusing it. Look, I'm not going to go in. I'm going to say it. Season 8 is bad. It's bad. Let's get it out there. But at the end of the day, I swear I'm not lying. If I could watch season 1 through 7, I would pick that over the entire show of Breaking Bad. Completion and all. And many of you at home will too. Yes, it's a bad season at the end, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the overall show. That means the ride to get to that season as well. There's 7 solid seasons. Mainly 6 that are really great of Game of Thrones that even season 1 through 6 usurp all of Breaking Bad. Game of Thrones beat out Breaking Bad for me and for many people in season 4. That means you get 3 more good seasons, 2 more good seasons, 5, 6, 7, 3 more good seasons ahead of you. And guess what? We're all going to go watch House of the Dragon. Game of Thrones ain't dead. We're going to be right there for House of the Dragon on HBO when it drops. This universe is very much alive, and it'll outdo Better Call Saul. The universe building is bigger for Game of Thrones. The fans couldn't be stronger. The ending was bad, but we know the show enough to make up our own ending. That's how I feel about it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's time.
I'm not watching House of the Dragon for the record.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. For
Don't
your
care.
channel, you will have to do it.
Everyone tells me to watch The Witcher. I don't watch it.
You will have to watch it for your channel, bro. That's views, baby. That's so much. You're gonna do it.
Maybe I'll watch the pilot and then
we'll watch it together. We'll make a show. We're gonna make our own show about it or something. You know, talk about that shit.
I have no interest. I have no interest in that show.
Yeah, y'all watching it. Y'all watch. We'll see in a couple years. Andy's review.
I don't want to watch a prequel series of Game of Thrones world that I know went nowhere with that Bran gets to take over.
Okay, well, put down in the comment section what you guys think of who won this by the debate, not whether you freaking agree
good
with
luck
the topic.
with that one. That's the reason you'll win this. Because Game of Thrones, that was fun.
Hey, I'm just saying the debate, please, the debate.
About debate.
And I understand
And it's
season 8 is trash. Season 8 is the worst thing to happen to us in TV history. I understand. That was a great topic. Thank you for the members of Tier 1.